We'll start with Mark, because it's interesting when you take a look at the fact we've had a few weeks now of transfers and movements. Some teams happier with what's happened compared to others. For example, if you're a Manchester United fan at the moment, you're thinking, what is going on? This is deja vu all over again.
It is, and this morning the Man United fans protesting against the owners basically barricaded the club's shop because they were launching the new kits, and they were basically forced the shop to close because they couldn't sell more shirts because it was anti-Glazers. So, yeah, not a great start to the summer for Man United. They're protesting against the owners and they haven't signed any players. But like you say, deja vu.
What I mean, did I don't know if I was saying double yesterday. I mean, there's every chance, but I thought I saw something that they were, one of the reports were going to allow Jadon Sancho to go for 30 or 40 million. Is there any truth in that, Oggy? Because that's less than half what they paid for him, 2 years ago or whatever it was?
Well, I mean, there's two parts to that. Will they let Jadon Sancho go? Yes, they would. But will they get anyone to pay what they paid for him 2 years ago? No. So I think 30, 40 million is probably, certainly it's low considering what they paid for. I think it was 70 million pounds. But who realistically is going to pay what they paid for Jadon Sancho? Who's going to take him on? He had a difficult season last season. But that same logic applies to maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 United players that they want to get rid of. But they can't do because somebody a couple of years ago paid them too much and paid too much for their services. So they're stuck with a lot of players, and Erik Ten Hag's having to deal with it. And David De Gea is another example of that, a player that was on a way too much money in terms of the contract. He was the highest paid player. He is the highest paid player with his contract. Well, it will be when his contract runs out at the weekend. But since Ronaldo left, nobody earned more than De Gea. But, the situation there, as we're saying, that we don't know if he's going to stay or go. And the fact that he's on so much money means it's difficult to find a way to keep him or get rid of him. So they're going round in circles.
You know the thing with Man United is that it doesn't matter at the moment what it is they're trying to achieve. It takes them ages.
Yes.
Whether it's player recruitment, whether it's new contracts, whether it's negotiations, and obviously a sale of the club, which is clearly much bigger and does take a lot of due diligence, and you would expect it to take longer than obviously buying an individual. But my God, I mean, how long is this process dragging out between the Qataris and Jim Ratcliffe's consortium and what the Glazers want and what some of the Glazers want and other Glazers don't want? So it just seems everything that they're doing, whether it's off the field, I mean, refurbishment of training grounds, refurbishment of stadiums, it's either not been done or it's taken an eternity. But more importantly, this is the kind of scenario that previous managers have had where summers and transfer windows have rolled on and we've sat here going, well, we're chatting about this transfer and this potential signing, and at the last minute they go out and either, as Oggy said, throw some crazy money at it because it's taken them so long.
Yep.
And they're fearful of getting left behind, or it doesn't get done at all and they go and get plan B, C or D. And it just seems, that Ten Hag is getting some of the frustrations at the moment, and it may change, that some of the previous other managers had. Remember when we saw Mourinho over here doing the ICC pre-season tournament, and he had a face like he wanted to kill somebody because he was obviously on the old phone, back to base, trying to find out what was happening, what was how was things progressing, and they were sitting in their hands. So, and they've got a lot to catch up, Man United.
Yes.
I mean, we talk about clubs getting the business done. Liverpool generally got the business done. We'll see if Arsenal do. City generally do. United have to sort this out. They have to sort out getting their business done early enough that gives their manager a chance to work with a proper squad all pre-season.
But Mark, are they just haunted by their past? Because obviously people coming in to negotiate United know that they don't have too much of a history of getting good deals done.
Yeah, absolutely. They are the case book for doing it wrong, aren't they, the last 10 years, spending too much money, not being able to get rid of the players that they want to get rid of. And like Craig said, they're talking about how things take forever. I mean, it's not just getting signings. And I've been told by people at United that the Glazers have this incredible way of working whereby everything has to be signed off by 3, 4, 5 different people. So even if it's things like getting new equipment for the training ground, it goes up a chain where it can't get signed off very quickly. I remember the summer that Craig's talking about with Mourinho, That was the one, I think, 5 years ago when he wanted to get rid of Anthony Martial because he felt he wasn't offering enough for Man United, and it took weeks and weeks and weeks. And it came back from the very top from the Glazers. No, we don't want to let Anthony Martial go. We think as an asset. Now, they take forever to make a decision, and it's the wrong one. So that is the frustration because, Ten Hag wants to get things done quickly. He knows that he overperformed last season with the squad he had. He overperformed and overreached. He's got to better that next season, but he's got to better it, and he's already on the back foot in the transfer market this summer. So, I mean, look, I don't think Erik Ten Hag is gonna walk, but I think United got to be careful because he's a guy that wants things done his way, and if it carries on like this, he'll be thinking, what is the point? What is the point of being here if I'm not getting the people that I want to get in? If things are taking too long, all of my rivals are making progress, making big signings, and we're doing what everyone said we'd do. We're doing what Louis van Gaal warned me would happen last year when he said that Man United is a club that is a mess at times. So it's the same every summer. It never changes.
Nedem, obviously you normally associate yourself with City fans, but I'm sure there must be the odd United supporter within your social circle. What do they say about all this?
Listen, one thing I know, Dan, is that United fans are everywhere, and there is a level of discontent that does exist. And I understand it. I think from the transfer policy, when you see in the likes of Arsenal, Cities, Chelsea's and so on, very heavily involved in the transfer market that doesn't officially open until the 1st of July, you're thinking, well, why is this not the case for United when everyone knows the deficiencies that they already have? And then with the ownership situation, deciding who's it going to be, how long is it going to take? I think Mark's reported really well about how long things could take from the moment the takeover happens to having the money available to them. They need to be getting things done right now, or yesterday essentially. So it is a weird spot for them to be in. But then also, I'd say that from the perspective of a player, or say even a manager themselves, you're getting paid by these owners who have been so heavily criticised. And when you see the fans who you want to connect with outside a shop saying Glazers out, you as a player who's just received your monthly salary, at this point now, you can't really say too much, even if you feel that that's maybe the right way to be. So it's not a great position. It's not a great situation. Thankfully, they do have a bit more time left, but I don't think many people are going to be backing them to do something which is going to change the game for them for this coming season.
Mark, who's going to be the #1 goalkeeper next season?
I don't think it'll be David De Gea. I think it could be Dean Henderson, and I'm not sure that'd fill people at United with a lot of confidence. I don't think he's a Man United goalkeeper. I think they're better off with Tom Heaton, to be honest, and he's still there. Look, I mean, they are interested in Andre Onana. They've inquired about Onana, but I think the price they've been quoted is around £40 million. Now, at the moment, that's too much for United. For me, that is a good deal for a goalkeeper that Ten Hag knows from Ajax. He's good with his feet, which obviously De Gea isn't. I don't think £40 million for a goalkeeper of his calibre is too much, but the situation United are in, and we've said this before on the show, that they haven't got a lot of money to spend unless they sell players, and the players aren't worth selling because they're not worth buying, should I say. They haven't got the money to do a striker, a midfielder and a goalkeeper. So the reason why they've been waiting to get De Gea done is because he's an easy option. If he stays, it frees up the money to sign a midfielder and a forward. But I think they're getting to the point now where they know that De Gea, his heart isn't in it, and I don't think Ten Hag's heart is in De Gea, so they're going to have to sign a goalkeeper, and that will leave them short for a striker or a midfielder, unless, as we say, this kind of recurring theme, they can get rid of people like Harry Maguire, Jadon Sancho, Scott McTominay, and all these players that really not many clubs are going to spend a lot of money to sign.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.